Welcome on in, hi there, I'm Kong. I'm being joined by a couple of my friends, HelloIAmStone and IncandescentWriter. Would either of you two like to introduce yourselves for this first Neurodivergence talk?
Do you want any specific introductions or just names and pronouns?
We can go with names and pronouns. Some other stuff we can go with just in a minute or two as well.
Alright. Hello, I am Stone. I use they, them pronouns.
Hello, I am IncandescentWriter. I use she, they, him pronouns. Don't really matter.
Thank you both for stopping on by today. I'm Kong. Call me Nathan, he, him pronouns. This is definitely going to be a very different thing than I usually do. It's not funny games or dumb bits. Well, because as of this recording and this stream, we are in the tail end of April, which is Autism Awareness Month. I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and get some friends, get some people I know who are also neurodivergent, either diagnosed or undiagnosed, and talk with them so people can hear from multiple voices about what it's like to have neurodivergency, or like anything else any of us would like to talk about on the subject as well. How are y'all doing today?
I'm okay.
I'm pretty exhausted from work.
Oh, that's valid. I didn't work today. I've just been working on my finals.
I've been shifting children's nonfiction over from shelf to shelf. It's just been...
Oh. That sounds exhausting.
I've been doing it for like a week now.
Oh.
Not like a full week, but like 4 days beforehand. I'm really feeling it.
Oh, the rest of your week goes smoother.
It's gonna be a lot of shifting for the remaining month or so.
Oh.
Until it gets done, I'll be free until then.
But yeah, but also like I said, for this to be being a neurodivergence talk, well, a few friends here. I'm gonna go ahead and lead off. Diagnosed autism spectrum disorder. At the time of my diagnosis, back when I was in kindergarten, like 5 or 6, it was something on a different name that's no longer used. What's Asperger's syndrome, which is now taken away for multiple reasons, and just
reasons.
called autism spectrum
Very valid
disorder.
reasons, indeed.
Yeah. How about you two? And you can also share if you are diagnosed or undiagnosed. I don't care either way. Both are valid to me.
You want to go first, or?
I never really got to know what autism really was until my nephew was diagnosed. So it's been like so long until learning until then was about what's kind of like not much of a learning disability, but it's like it's all these like things I just still don't quite know for certain about, but knowing that there's been like connections between how I acted when I was younger with my nephew. Both my sisters were like pointing like or noticing those like differences or the same familiarities that I went through. So it's kind of like not even a question that now that we know for certain that it's like a it goes down with genes and stuff like that, so it's like generational. So obviously we kind of like can confirm with each other that this is definitely what I have. But we have yet to really see someone for exact diagnosis and all that stuff.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, yeah, it is very much a while there are a myriad of things that get into what causes autism, nothing vaccine related, folks. That's been
No,
disproven for
absolutely
2
not.
decades.
I was gonna jokingly be like, what, you mean vaccines don't cause autism, Nate? But the science, the proof is there, Nate.
But yeah, genetics are
Oh.
considered one of the big things. Like, if there's gonna be one person, just like with a lot of other neurodivergencies, like with ADHD and the like as well, if there's one person in the family that has it, there's more
most
people in the
likely
family
other
that have
people.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so-
I was just before I go into my diagnosis, when we talk about the vaccine thing, I was watching a one of those 20 versus 1 debate things, and it was
Oh.
with a doctor about anti-vaxxers, and all of them were like surprised when he was like, yeah, it's been disproven that vaccines aren't a cause for autism, and they're all just like, well, I haven't seen that. It's like, oh my god, oh my lord.
They're not looking for it, it's the issue. They don't care to look for it.
No, exactly. Anyways, so I have been diagnosed with, in high school, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And I believe that I have ADHD or ADD. I guess both are valid, what to call it. And then because I'm very, very certain I have ADHD because my dad and then both of my brothers have been diagnosed with ADD. So very strong there. Autism, I don't know if anyone in my family has that, but I do believe I have a little bit of it just based off of a lot of social stuff. But that's also undiagnosed.
Yeah. And I guess that's another thing to bring up is, well, I should go off the top of that. None of us here are experts. We're all just normal people trying to talk. But
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're all just very
We're-
normal people. We have no
Yeah.
professional like research or anything like that. We're not part of that like career space.
None of us are psychologists. None of us
Yeah.
are psychiatrists. We're just here strictly to talk about our personal experiences with our own, brain
this-
bullshit.
yeah, there's gonna be stuff that we've heard about before that we'll be talking about, like stuff that we've learned from experts or along the way. But these are also things where I will always strongly encourage checking out resources from a site like ASCN, which I'm currently raising money for, which has a stack of like different books that they recommend. There's other places where you can check out real resources instead of just listening to us. But yeah, just coming back to where I was for ADHD as well. Autism and ADHD are known to be very comorbid, to the point that it can be difficult at times to tell which is which, and someone could have both at the same time even. It's very possible. Like, I was originally diagnosed with ADHD, and it was realized that was not the case when the Ritalin was doing the opposite of its intended effect and giving me extreme anxiety and making me super stressed out all the time.
My nephew got hit with autism and ADHD, so watching him going through his own emotions,
Yeah.
going through the day, it's just chaos. Until there's like a concrete like set schedule for him to like move on with his day. It's just pure chaos if there is no schedule.
I feel that. I feel that. Well, hi, Moon. Alright, but I guess we kind of got into one of the other questions I had is, like, what prompted a diagnosis or self-diagnosis? On my side of things, was a kid, obviously had signs of something going on. My parents brought me in, got that misdiagnosis, and then a few months later got me re-diagnosed with a different therapist.
Oh. So for the anxiety and depression, I was diagnosed in high school because I was having like anxiety attacks and I was having depressive episodes. I won't get too far into it, but it was pretty bad. And I think that my theory, my unprofessional theory, is that those developed as a result of not being diagnosed or not understanding that I have ADHD or autism. So it, not being able to understand how to navigate my life, especially in high school, where high school sucks a lot. You're there for 8 hours a day. You have, at least at my school, it's like 6 classes, all with homework and whatever. I was drowning under shit. And so not understanding how to navigate those sort of situations, I think developed a lot of anxiety and depression, especially socially. But then as I got older, once I was out of high school, and I started kind of looking at myself and a lot of things, and then I started seeing like posts online that are like ADHD mood or autistic, and it's like, oh no, these are getting a little too relatable. And it's like stuff like, hyperfixations, overstimulation, what's it called? Dissociative episodes, eating disorder, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, maybe there's some stock to this. maybe we should look into this. And I even suggested it to my parents, and my dad went, huh. Maybe. And then my mom's like, no. And then my dad's like, I don't know. My dad has a master's degree in psychology. He was like, no, you may be onto something. So, yeah.
Ryder, you already talked about how you kind of started getting in the idea with your interactions with a relative who has autism theirself as well, right?
Yeah, my nephew.
Yeah.
He was diagnosed at a very young age, and then over the years, everyone's kind of pointing stuff out that I've done when I was younger compared to him. It's just we can't figure it out then, but it's years too late kind of thing. So I never really, growing up, I never really asked what was wrong with me, what's going on with me. I don't feel normal. I never got that notion. I thought I was just the weird, quiet kid who just liked to be, I like my own little things. I like all these media I really enjoyed. Hyper fixated quite a lot. And yeah.
I feel like we would have been friends in high school.
Oh yeah. Talking about high school, I'm like, oh, I had to move midway through high school. After sophomore year, we left, and I had to start all over junior, senior year, trying to talk with people, trying my friends. I'm like, that's not happening.
Oh.
I have severe anxiety trying to talk with anyone else who have their own friend groups, so it was really hard for me.
Yeah, I feel that.
I guess this is also a good segue into our next thing for getting into the everyday life, which is let's go ahead and start with the social circles, school life aspects growing up.
Do you want to start, Nate, or?
Okay. I'd actually like to hear both of you first on this one.
Okay. I need to find my tab again. There we go. ADHD mood of having 800 tabs open.
Where's the boss music coming from?
Exactly.
Oh, I can turn off the lo-fi radio if you need.
I don't hear that.
I don't hear that either.
Do you want to continue with what you were saying with the social stuff, right? Or do you want me to go?
I mean, I could continue on.
It's up to you. Because we're already talking about it.
Yeah, I was pretty. It was pretty. I was the youngest child for the longest time, so I was really off in my own little world most of the time. Just was able to like play by myself, and then when other people were start coming around, my mom was actually helping other families, get their stuff back together, like helping her stepbrother, his family, and they lived with us for some time, and then two other families I ended up having befriending one of their daughters growing up, and that's how I became friends with them, and we remain in contact to this day. And and then getting into school, like preschool, it was very hard because it was a different setting and you just don't know what to expect. So when they drop you off at the preschool, it's just like a whole different scenario. Everything is in chaos. I'm just like, I don't know how to compute with this. I'm just gonna try, I guess, make friends. But of course, in preschool, as far as I remember, it was hard. So I don't recall making any friends at that moment in time. But like, I have made friends. They were just also off in their own little world, so they were easy for me to like talk one-on-one together, and then we'll expand a friendship with like talking about the media we like. One of my friends got me into liking manga and comics and stuff like that, so later on I was able to like read some of them on my own. But that's pretty much my entire social circle. It's like, if I can't give you one-on-one, it's just not happening.
I feel that. Oh, I feel that in my soul, in my entire being. I feel that.
And then, so when like middle school, high school, for like our like lunch breaks, we all get like a table full of like people, and so it's like, it's kind of like hard to like, where can I find a seat that isn't like crowded already? And so there's always gonna be like that one table that is just like almost near empty. And it takes me like almost like a year to like warm up to people and then actually start talking. And then the school year would be over, then it's like, starts the next year. New friends. New hours.
It's like, oh, I gotta figure it out all over again. God damn it.
Yeah. And then high school was the same thing for the first 2 years. And then the last 2 years, well, for lunch periods, I was just off on the computer watching Achievement Hunter. That was essentially it. Although I did manage to play tennis because I was interested, because of my grandfather tried to play with us like when I was a kid. So I got sports done. Did I make any friends? Not very well. But it was a fun time regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Stone?
What were you about to call me?
I was about to say, how about you for you, Stone? And then I realized, hey, a common thing for me, that's apparently, I got a little bit happy finding out this is also common and for other autistic people is the constant mixing things up in your head because your brain is moving faster than your body. It's like, so things are constantly getting jumbled up, which is also a pain when I'm trying to type things out. Some bad days of mine, it's like, I don't even know what I'm writing.
I feel that. I thought you were going to call me a fruit.
Oh
Anyway,
my God.
I'm kidding. I know Nate would not call me a fruit.
No, that's just what you do for
um,
your work.
Yeah, well, exactly. I work in cut fruit, so
Yeah.
I'm the fruit in cut fruit. I say as if I'm the only gay person in the cut fruit department, which I'm not. Anyways, socially with me, I made some friends in, you know, growing up in early, like, preschool, kindergarten through second grade. I had some good friends. I was honestly friends with a lot of people. I was very, I socialized a lot. But then in third grade, we moved schools. Because my mom taught at the school that I was going to, and then she got a new job at a different school, so we switched to that school. I did not have friends there, and they were all very different vibes. And I made like a couple friends. I had like a couple close friends. I had one friend who we had Pokemon plushies, and we'd play with the Pokemon plushies on the playground. You know, Pokemon was a huge thing when I was little, a big hyperfixation. And then I got to like 5th grade, and I made some new friends, and they were okay, and then they sucked in middle school. And that's really, I think middle school is really when it started to kind of hit that, oh, I'm the weird kid that no one likes. Like, that's when the bullying started. Like, shit like that. Like, that's really when the social thing was like, oh, I'm very different than these people. And then my friends started to suck a lot, and it was not great socially. And I am learning in therapy that there's a lot of trauma left over from there. Would you believe? And then high school hit, and I got some good friends again. But there was always kind of that still feeling of being like an outsider with my friends. They were all very academic based. They're all very, I like academic focused people, you know, AP classes and all that. And I was, you know, struggling to pass some classes, so it always felt really weird. But they were still good friends. I still, you know, connected with them very well, and they treated me well. And I dropped my friends from middle school because they sucked a lot. But now I only talk to like 2 people that I went to high school with. And they were still like, especially going into high school, especially in high school when I was trying to deal with a lot of like the anxiety and depression, I feel like affected a lot of my friendships socially then. And unfortunately, somewhere along my developmental path socially, I picked up the habit of, or the way I learned to socialize is that I socialize based off of how other people initiate, I guess, how other people set the speed, I guess, you know. So I won't initiate, which is a little bit of a problem socially, because then I won't make friends because I'm not the one putting a step forward. I'm always waiting for the other person to step forward and set that speed, which ends up being a lot of weird social things of like, oh, I'm bad at making friends because I can't take the initiative because I think people hate me. I think people don't want to talk to me. But yeah. So that's like one of the aspects I think has affected me most. Of that's how I learned to socialize. That's very ingrained within me, and so I think that's kind of where some of the autism comes in with how I act socially. Of like, oh, I don't know how to deal with people. People scare me. they're very scary, and I can't trust myself to trust other people well, because I will kind of just follow their speed and go with what they want. So it's very like, I don't trust myself, I don't trust them, but I will do whatever to gain this acceptance, if that makes sense.
No, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically a lot of how my social thankfully getting into Twitch and everything, I've discovered people who are like me and I can be friends with, and I've made a lot of friends. But I even here on Twitch and like with people in streams and stuff, I still feel like I struggle socially to try to connect with people. I'm very slow to put in a step forward and like try to talk to people. And also one thing socially is I don't know what to say a lot of the time in conversations. When I'm in a conversation, when I'm like hanging out with someone, I'm like, I don't fucking know what to say. And my dad's always like, you just have to ask questions. People love talking about themselves. And I'm like, I don't know what questions to ask them, because sometimes that sounds weird of just like asking questions. Because then people are like when someone asks me a question I'm not expecting, then I'm like, what the fuck do you want to know? I'm like, why are you asking me this question? That's fucking weird. And I don't want people to think that of me. I'm just trying to be friendly, but I don't know what the fuck to ask people half the time.
Oh, just take Matar Karn's icebreaker question. When's the last time you cried?
Oh my, who?
The VTuber, the cockroach VTuber.
The cockroach.
There's a cockroach VTuber out there? What the?
I don't keep up with VTubers.
There's so many.
The cockroach.
It's like reading.
It's not like an actual cockroach.
The last time you cried?
Think of what's Pokemon's name? Pheromosa.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I think I've seen her.
It's like reading all the Batman villains all over again. Who's all these VTubers are?
Oh, look, you just gotta ask the icebreaker question of what are your thoughts on heart-shaped pizzas?
No one has ever given one to me, so there.
That was a joke where when I would go into Final Fantasy 14, or we would host Final Fantasy 14 parties, people would come in, and these random people, I would just ask them, so what are your thoughts on heart-shaped pizzas? Just to be a silly goose and break the ice a little bit with these random ass people who are joining our chaotic little party.
Honestly, probably not a bad idea of an icebreaker in general either.
Yeah. Not the worst. You could come up with worse, like when was the last time you cried?
Yeah, just immediately become emotionally vulnerable. It is actually an effective icebreaker from what I've seen.
That's wild. If someone asked me when was the last time you cried, I'd be like, why the fuck do you want to know that? That's what, again, one of those questions where it's like, if someone asks me a question that I'm caught off guard, my reaction is like, what the fuck are you asking me and why? Like, people also don't like that reaction. When you're like, hello, what are you, what?
Would you rather grow up a horse kid or a Disney kid?
Wolf kid, next question.
Thanks for that one, Edie.
Considering I was a Star Wars fan, absolutely wolves.
Jot that down, Edie.
Jot it down.
Do you not see Stone's avatar there?
Edie's drawn it.
Yeah.
Oh, has Edie?
Yeah, it was I believe a Christmas present from Johnny where it was me and Johnny's scream characters.
Aww.
It was very good. Anyways.
Yeah.
Nate.
Yeah, I should go with my side of things. Okay, school.
Escuela.
Oh boy, rough start. kindergarten, immediately getting lost in the school because it's probably just a me thing. No sense of direction. Didn't really understand the numbers or letters, so when I was told what room to go to, I went to the wrong one.
First grade was like
Wasn't
that.
there for like 10 minutes before someone realized what was up. Not great then. Not great when I was misdiagnosed with ADHD and put on Ritalin, which made me a class terror because I was kept getting into fights with kids because I was always just super stressed out because of the medication.
Oh dear.
And then when I was that didn't really when I was taken off and became calm and cool for the most part, the reputation was still there. So it was not great. And then there was me not really understanding how to approach people and thinking that you can just go ahead and have your first interaction with someone be the same interaction they're giving their friends they've had for weeks or months. So that didn't go well. And it's just a lot of misunderstandings of social constructs and how to make and develop friends, where after a bit it became a thing of me not really reaching out to people. Like, there were kids that I knew and were friends with growing up, mostly neighborhood kids, because we would all just play tag or stuff in the neighborhood, so it was easy to make friends that way. But at the school was not great there. First couple of years not helped out by a principal who I don't know if she refused to understand autism or what was up, but it kept feeling like she was out to get me and my brother, who likely also has autism or maybe has ADHD, some neurodivergence going on himself. He was never properly diagnosed. It was just an assumption that he has something because I have something. But yeah, we would get into a lot of trouble. And then when that principal went away and a new one came and some programs started being implemented to help the autistic kids that they knew about in there, things got a lot nicer for me in school because I had teachers who would see me start to like get stressed out because of sensory like override going on, where everything just feels like it's hitting you at 200% at once. All the sounds accentuated, all the like sensations against your skin accentuated, the lights seem brighter. It's just so, boy, that's it's just such a not great experience that I would have like freakouts in the classroom from that, which didn't help the social side of things either.
That's valid.
Yeah, it's definitely not an experience I want others to go through.
Yeah, that sounds miserable.
And I would get in trouble for that, even though I couldn't feel like I could help but have it happen, being contained in this room where the air started feeling thinner to me with each like minute passing. But then like I eventually got a teacher when I was put into the gifted program that was like, oh, you're feeling that? Let us know and you can just go ahead and take a walk through the hallway. Let you have a pass so you can just go around until you feel better. So things got a lot better with that. Just simple steps like that. With just even the most minimal care about what's going on.
Just some nice accessibility understanding. Yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah, like starting in middle school wasn't as great because of the stuff they had going on wasn't really there. But it's at that point I was also kind of like growing out of having like those sensory like overrides going on so often, so it was easier to handle that. The mask was starting to be formed as well to try to seem like a quote-unquote normal person.
Yes, the mask. We know the mask.
Yeah. For those who don't know, mask in reference for like people with neurodivergent is like the face a person puts on to seem like they don't have whatever disorder there is with them, to seem like they are just like people who are neurotypical. But yeah, like that mass started being formed. Still struggling to make friends growing up. Outside of things like the neighborhood kids all moved away, so it was not so easy to interact that way. And then by the time I got to high school, I was mostly just by myself, but mostly because I was just wanting to keep to myself at that point. It just felt too much of a pain to try to interact with other people, which slowly put me down a bit of an edgelord path for a few years, honestly.
Yeah.
Imagine being the emo kid.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Imagine who would be the emo kid.
Oh boy, but yeah, I can recognize now, years later, that there were people that were trying to reach out to me and try to be like my friend. I just didn't see it at the time, either because I was missing the cues or because I was just ignoring it, either consciously or unconsciously. And, oh boy, going through college side of school though, well, I should say for school as well, like public school, at an issue where I couldn't do something unless I felt challenged at it. Because if something seemed easy, I would brush it off to the side and forget it, because it's like, what's the point? I don't care about this.
Oh my god.
Like I didn't even really study through school, because like everything here I could just understand immediately. I don't know why I need to study.
And then whoever's on the test is not what you study for. It's just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Well, no, for that, I just learned that there's tricks to tests where you'll understand the patterns going on eventually. My pattern recognition is unfortunately too high at times, so I could pass tests. I got A's on tests that I didn't even know the subjects about.
But meanwhile, I'm fighting for my life, trying not to fail classes at my stupid academy, my stupid private religious academy.
Yeah.
I will say, trying not to fail fucking chemistry.
I will say, as soon as I got to college, because I didn't have much study experience, boy, was that a major blow for me. I was like, oh god, I actually have to care now. Oh no, oh, there's also thousands of dollars on the line with each of these semesters. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of stress going through college. It took me a lot of years of being in and out before I eventually got a degree.
Never get thanks for the community college I attended to for 4 years before moving on to university. Even then, I didn't get my degree.
And whereas social side nowadays, everyone I know thinks it's their Twitch, except for like the two roommates of mine that aren't on Twitch, as far as I know. Oh boy. Yeah, it was definitely a very nice thing to happen in a community where there is just a weirdly high amount of neurodivergent people already there. Kind of like feeling more comfortable along the lines, meeting people who are willing and ready to kind of like talk and invite others in as well. Like just been very nice meeting other people and who are neurodivergent, or just other people who are neurotypical as well. All the friends I've made along the way through Twitch. I'm just also very terrible about actually reaching out to people. The most stressful thing for me is planning collaborations, because that's having to talk with multiple people each time, thinking, I hope I'm not bothering this person by asking them this simple question. What if they hate me because I asked them to play Mario Party?
I feel that. I feel that. It's scary making collabs.
Yeah.
The thing is about that is, like, if I say something ridiculous and the feeling of shame just hits with me, I feel like I should be in this space. Like, that's like the only thing that's pulling me back from interacting with anyone.
I feel like I might have talked about myself on the social and school side of it too long there as well, so that's another social anxiety.
How dare you, Nate? No, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah, this is all stuff I'm gonna repeat or expand upon in the other 2 sessions on Saturday.
Yeah, you got a lot to do there.
Yeah.
You got a long Saturday.
Yeah, at least 12 hours. But let's continue on with like neurodivergence in everyday life with family. How does it feel with your family, or like interacting with your family, or like your family having anything neurodivergent their way as well?
Well, as I said earlier, my dad very much has a strong ADD, ADHD. He calls it ADD because that's what he was diagnosed with. And I think there's just I think the diagnosis is just the same at this point, where it's just ADHD. But my dad was diagnosed with it and has dealt with it his entire life, and so my brother has also got it as well. So just my mom has to live with just his family of people who are so forgetful. Well, it was funny, even today, my dad asked me to get something, to bring him something. He asked me to bring him 2 things today because he forgot to bring them to work. And then I brought one, forgetting about the second thing he asked me to bring. And he was like, "It's the ADD." I'm like, "You have no one to blame but yourself for this. You gave it to me." But it's a lot of stuff like that, where like I have to constantly remind like him or my brothers of something. We all kind of have different flavors of it. I think especially me, because I was born female, and so the symptoms and behaviors are different between male and female, I believe, unless there's research that's proven that, which I am not aware of. But it's different for me, where I can remember things very well. I actually have a very good schedule-oriented brain. But how do I say this? There are things that I also forget because they just kind of fall to the side because I don't find them important. If it's important enough, I'll remember it. But like it like today, I forgot that. But like with school and stuff, I can remember it very well. But then I've lost my train of thought. There's the ADD. That's the example for you guys. You're getting that as the example, the exclamation. I do want to ask, is it okay if I talk a little bit about my eating disorder?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like anorexia or bulimia, where like I won't go into those topics. Those are entirely different things. But my eating disorder, because it affects both my family life and then also my social life, and I have to remember what it stands for. Okay, so the eating disorder that I actually have is called avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, which, to put simply, is just being a very picky eater, which is, I don't like saying that a lot because I feel like being a picky eater has a negative connotation towards to it. But that's very much affected like some of my family life. My parents thankfully are very understanding about it. Like, I'll say my parents are great. They won't, I think a lot of families and a lot of parents aren't very understanding about stuff like that. Like, it's like, "No, you didn't eat my food. That's rude. You have to eat the food I provide you, or else you're not eating at all." That's like a very, like, especially when you're younger, thing. But my family's been very understanding. At least my nuclear family. When I go to my like other relatives, they are not very understanding about it. But essentially, I can't eat a lot of foods, and the way I like to put it is that there are a lot of, like, I think 90% of foods, my brain is like, "That's not food. If you eat that, it's gonna poison you. It will kill you." Even though it won't, even though it's perfectly edible, people around me are eating it, they're enjoying it. My brain's like, "No, you're not. You can't do that. That's not a thing. It's not safe to eat." And so that's, when I was younger, that really kind of impacted a lot of my social life. Going out and eating is very stressful for me, with friends. because if we're going to a place that I don't know the menu or don't know the type of food, then I'm like, oh, I might just not eat. And have done that before, where I'm just like, you know, guys, my stomach's not feeling it all. I'm just not gonna grab anything. I'll just eat later. But then family related, like my parents will make food and then I feel left out because I'm like, I can't eat that. My dad's like, why not? And I'm like, my brain says no. It doesn't like how it looks. And he's like, but you like this food. I'm like, okay. I can't give you any other answer. That's just, it's not gonna happen. And that's perfectly acceptable for anyone who doesn't like food. Perfectly acceptable to not like a food, by the way. It's okay to say no. Don't force yourself to eat things you don't like, especially if your brain decides that if you eat it, you'll have an anxiety attack and stomach cramps.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot. I know there's a lot of texture things with coming to eating autism, and
stuff with textures as well.
Yeah, and the the modern model for like looking at different aspects of autism, like food and textures, sensory stuff like that, is definitely one of the things to look into, because autistic people will have different ideas, different feelings on those things. Like, it's not as much for me nowadays, but I couldn't stand some like foods, especially some textures of foods. Like, as a kid, I could not even fathom eating pancakes because I hated the texture so much. Asparagus was a big one for me as a kid. It wasn't the typical veggie thing. I liked fruits and vegetables growing up. It's more that there was just something about how the asparagus felt that I didn't like. And even today, I can't stand gristle or like highly fatty parts of meats. The only fatty meat I will like is bacon, because bacon is God's gift to us.
I can't even stand bacon. I'm sorry.
I mean, by that I need crispy bacon too.
I don't like crispy bacon. Crispy bacon it tastes like the grill.
Yeah. I guess that's also a thing of like my weird taste thing is I actually like the taste of burnt food. As a kid, I like the taste of paper as well.
Oh my god. I can't burnt.
I can't with burnt food. Yeah, no.
I can't with raw steak either. Like, if it's like really red or purpley, I can't do it. It makes me gag.
I can't deal with fat in general. Just like the texture and everything. Like, I remember getting into this discussion in high school with one of my classmates and her mom. Her mom was like having this discussion and like turned to me and was like, "You eat the fat on foods, right?" And I went, "No, it's gross." And like my friend was like, "You see, like it's gross."
Is that always necessarily a matter of like rules or not? Unfortunately, it's not like the same level necessarily as like the eating disorder you talked about. It's just a continuation of sensations. Like, I can expand on some other ones later when we talk about like ups and downs of our different neurodivergencies. But yeah, there's definitely sensations I cannot stand that unfortunately I have to sometimes.
With the eating disorder that I've been talking about, like the symptoms are like if I eat something I don't like, then I'll get like panic attacks or like really bad stomach cramps, shit like that. And yeah, it what was funny was my dad came home from work one day. He's like, I saw this YouTube short about this woman explaining this eating disorder, and was like, I think you have this. I went, huh. I've been new, Dad. I'm aware.
Time to crack open the DSM.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm aware. I've known about this. I think this is a fairly recent thing that was created. So my dad was not aware of it. He was like, oh, I didn't know that's what you dealt with. I just thought it was picky eating. It's like, no, my brain thinks that that's the same as eating bleach. But yeah, it was a lot of stuff when I was little, of like being guilt tripped into eating things that I didn't like, or like why don't you try this? It looks horrible, frankly. Not like an insult to your cooking. My brain just doesn't like it. Or when I was in middle school, I went to my friend's house a lot. And it was always incredibly anxiety inducing to be like, oh, well, what do you want for dinner? It's like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I can't eat anything. I don't want to eat anything. And it's like, I literally, like, even if I'm hungry, if it's something that I don't like, I feel sick. I'm like, nope, I can't even like eat it at all. I can't. If it's on my plate, it's not getting touched, regardless of how hungry I am. Yeah, I think that's mostly my part of it.
Oh, well, Brian shouts at Nate tonight being in the neurodivergent talk at TwitchCon, and them describing something that you do, and I just turn to you. Yep.
What?
When they were
Hold
talking
up.
about ADHD, and be like all the people on there that ADHD being like, oh yeah, we all just have an issue where we'll get a bunch of food, thinking we're gonna eat it someday, and then we just let it rot in the fridge because we forget it exists.
Oh god, that's such
yeah,
a big thing in my family. Oh no.
Same. Both my
Today-
sisters have been doing that. I'm like, oh my god, please. There's no room in the fridge.
One of the things I brought my dad today was lunch, and he asked for what was made last night, and so I went into the fridge. I pulled the first thing out that I saw that I thought was what my dad made last night and put it into a bin and took it to him. And then later he's like, where did you get this? And I was like, the fridge. It was right at the front. He's like, this is from like last week. Like, why is it still in the fridge? Why haven't we thrown it out? So I bought washable labels for our things.
Smart.
Yeah, no, big ADD thing is just forgetting about shit in the fridge. My dad buys all these ingredients and then they're just there. Then our fridges, we have 2 fridges and they're both constantly full because my dad just forgets them. I think we still have chicken breasts in our freezer that we haven't touched. That is a big thing.
Oh boy. All right. Next topic. All right. How's neurodivergency look like in your everyday life? When it comes to professional life.
You ever do that thing where you go into a room, you forget what you're going to get, and then you're
Yep.
and then you have to go back and figure out what the fuck you're trying to get. You have to reset your brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's my everyday at work. That is, oh, I need to go get this thing from the back. Go into the back midway, have I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of creative shit. My brain's gnawing on my blorbos. And I get to the back and I'm like, what did I fucking come back here for? The fuck did I come back here for? That's it. That's my professional life. That's me at work.
Ryder, if you want to think on this, I can talk myself right now instead.
Working at the library has been such a blessing because it is a set schedule. And it's just me trying to not, daydream the work day away. I'm able to, have one of, the earpiece and for when I listen to music, one of those earbuds. So I'm able to listen to music, listen to podcasts and such. So I'm able to do that. And quite often I whisk myself into a different world where whether I am planning out plot lines for my book or my fanfics or whatever world I want to be in right now, compared to me being at work for the sake of getting stuff done. So I do have a habit where time just passes. I'm like, what's happened? But yeah, it happens at work, it happens at home. I literally am anywhere else but in the present.
I guess for me, all right. First job was at a Subway as one of the counter attendants, which, well, having to deal with so many people wasn't the best for me.
Yeah.
Really wished I was able to spend my whole time in the back working on prep or cleaning dishes, because that's menial labor was therapeutic to me.
I
I
feel
love
that.
that. God, I love working in the back. People don't bother me.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Let
For
me
the 3
do
months
my
I worked at
dishes.
Arby's, I was in the back. I was so thankful they asked me which part would I like to work in. I'm like, the back, please.
Let me just wash dishes. Let me just.
Let me just not interact with people, please.
Exactly.
I also had the issue having, that continues on to this day, where if I'm working on a task, then I do not want to be taken away from that, no matter how much I care or do not care about the task I'm doing, because my brain is set to be like, okay, we got this one thing to focus on. Just keep at it until it's done. Keep at the schedule. You got it. You got it. Oh, an interruption. Ah, fuck, what to do now?
Yo, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was like, God, I feel that because every day at work I have a list. We get a list of the things that we have to make, and I'm just like in my head, okay, I'm like, okay, I gotta start on this, and if something disrupts my rhythm, I get so
Yeah.
annoyed. And then and then someone else starts coming in, like one of my coworkers comes in and starts working, then I get very mad because I don't want them to fuck with my shit. It's stressed out working with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone working customer service. I'm sorry for all the POSs you had to deal with.
Bro,
salute
I had
you.
someone call me pretty yesterday.
Oh.
And not
Ah.
it like this just ran. This guy came up to me, because so for those who don't know how my station works, is I'm basically in a fucking fishbowl. And hold on, Brian, someone called you pretty? I need to know what Brian's. Anyways, so someone was outside, like I was inside the station cutting, and then some guy was like, "Hey, pretty," and I was like didn't respond because I like didn't want to, and then he's like, "Did you just start working here?" And I was like, I was like, "No, I've been working here for 3 years." It's like, "I've never seen you, darling." And I was like,
Oh no.
God, it's like okay if like older women are like they
Oh.
call you sweetheart or like darling or something. When it's a guy, that's weird. That's fucking weird. I've had men put their hands on me. That's fucking weird. Don't touch me. Some guy put his whole hand on my shoulder, and I was like, anyway, sorry. I derailed whatever that was, but fuck customer service. Fuck customers.
Yeah, sorry you had to deal with all that before. Oh goodness.
I still
People
have to
are
help people.
fucking weird.
I still have to help people at the library. Sometimes it's kids, sometimes it's adults who don't know where fiction and nonfiction are. Because we just renovated, but we've renovated and expanded our library, so everything's like shuffled,
Oh, everything's everywhere.
pretty much.
Yeah, I get people asking me where shit is all the time. I'm like, I don't leave my little old fishbowl, so I don't know. You may want to ask meat department about the turkey sales. Not me. I'm in produce.
Oh boy. I mean, yeah, when I was at Subway, it was inside of Walmart, so people would constantly ask me Walmart questions. They're like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Go to the Walmart worker.
Why would they ask you Walmart questions?
I don't
That's
know.
fucking weird.
I don't know. People just assume if you're inside the Walmart, you know what's going on, I guess.
Yeah.
I imagine the Annie Ann's people also got questions.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, continuing on for things here. That constant, like, having to be interrupted from what task I was in by having to then go to the like counter to make sub. Wasn't great. But yeah, eventually moved to a packing company where things were nice because it was a very simple scheduled thing to do every day. Just go in, do a bunch of small tasks that build up to a larger thing, very much my speed. And then when I got done with college, now I'm in a place I'm currently working from home as a programmer, which is also nice. My issue is that when I'm working on something, like getting deep into a project I'm being asked to do, it sucks when a meeting is scheduled soon because I'm feeling in rhythm. I'm feeling like I'm really good. Oh, I have to stop and pause for an hour for this meeting and just listen in for this. And now my groove is gone.
Oh yeah.
I hate that. You threw off my groove.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's still nice. It being work from home is such a great thing for me too, because I don't think I'm suited for office life. Being put into a cubicle to stare at nothing with forced interactions with people I don't really know or like don't want to know sometimes. It's nice. I like the freedom it gives me.
I would kill for a work from home job. I'm gonna be honest. I would absolutely just fucking kill for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love working on my own, and
it's also just nice to be able to work on side tasks at the same time within here. If I have time off, I can just go ahead and like work on something around the place as well. Just be like, okay, you know, there's something I wanted to do here. It's on my mind. I have free time. I'm gonna go do that. So I don't it's a lot better than like having to do the travel, to do the commute, have in your mind that task you want to do and forget about it by the time you get back. All right. This next bit kind of like leads into the next section as well, like talk about habits. But we can include this with our talk about like any ups and downs with neurodivergency. Like, we don't necessarily need to dwell on either side of things, but yeah, let me go ahead and throw out a few simple things that are probably more common in autistic people than is realized. Is I have a habit of walking around on my tiptoes when I'm not thinking. Especially if I don't have shoes on.
I
That's
do that.
a very common thing.
I still do that to this day.
Yeah.
I used to do that a lot when I was little.
Yeah.
Not quite anymore, but I used to do that when I was little.
It hasn't caused me any foot issues yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yet being the key word of the sentence.
Yeah. Oh boy, but I think one of the more known things are like the different like tics that are done. Like, for some people, it could be like just randomly humming a sound. For some people, it could be like having to make sure to. Well, something I do is, even though I'm not the most neat freak out there, if I see dust, I always make one swipe with my finger against it, and then that's it. If I see something just slightly,
I just did that earlier.
If I see an object that's like square by an edge, that's just slightly at an angle, I'll make sure to grab it and push it until it is perfectly even with the edge.
Yeah.
And my tick I do that my parents used to think was my signal being stressed, but turns out this is just me. This is just something my mind does when I'm not thinking. Just smacking my middle finger to my thumb thing, or sometimes I go with all fingers too.
Yeah.
You do the same? Oh my fucking god, I do that too!
Yeah, I have to, for a while I had to sit on my hands to keep me from just clicking things with my fingers because I couldn't help it.
I'm literally fidgeting with a cube so I don't do that too.
I am holding my little repo robot 3D printed man, whom I love and adore.
You made that, yeah.
My brother has a 3D printer that he made it with, and I love him.
No.
So he's in my hand right now. Or I have this little stress toy rhinoceros that I promise I could not tell you where he came from. He was just on my desk one day. But he's here. And I need to super glue his leg.
Yep.
I fidget with like anything on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness, I could just keep on going for different habits and tics I've had. When I was a kid, I kept chewing on the collar of my shirt or like the edge of the sleeves because I liked the taste for some reason. I don't know what was there. It's just that I kept having to get new shirts because I would keep having so many bite marks from me just chewing away.
Yeah, my twin brother
boy.
used to chew on things a lot.
Yeah, chewing on things is a very common thing in autism.
Yeah, my nephew chews on stuff. My little brother has certainly chewed a bunch of stuff when he was younger.
I chew on my lips, but that's about it.
Like the inside of your cheek?
Yeah, but not like any objects.
Yeah, I never got the biting part of it, no.
I
bite my nails.
Oh yeah, the nails for certain. But now I got my own like nail clippers, so I use that instead.
Yeah, as a kid for a few years, I also had a bad habit where I felt like my nose was not right somehow, that there was something to scratch at, so I just kept on going like this against the edges until the point that I was opening up skin.
Oh.
It was not great. I trained myself out of that. How about all of you? Any habits or tics or anything?
I have a weird thing with like. This is gonna sound weird, but I think this whole point of this whole conversation is to sound weird and be vulnerable about it.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Well, I don't think I've actually ever shared this with anyone. I like smell things. Not like I'm not like going around like smelling different like walls or something. Like I have specific objects that this is something that I've seen that developed when I was little, like really little, and has just kind of followed me my life. When I was really little, I had like the classic like blankie. I had a blanket that I carried around with me everywhere. And I used to suck my thumb, but then I eventually did grow out of that habit. But I just like to carry it around and smell it, and that kind of carried into different objects in my life. And now I actually just have a blanket on my lap that I will just like, when I'm like concentrating or something, or when I'm trying to calm down, it's like a comfort thing. I'll smell it. Again, it feels weird to say that.
You're good.
Yeah, no, it's like a weird comfort thing where it's like this, like the smells are comfortable and I like the smells, but then also I think what it does is it if I'm having like anxiety or whatever, it forces me to take deep breaths in, and also slows down like the rate at which I'm intaking air. So it'll calm me down because it's forcing me to take those deep breaths, which is a scientifically proven, method of calming down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one weird habit and tic I have. Yeah, I'm trying to think of others. I'm trying to think of ones that I'm willing to share.
We're probably gonna just keep on thinking of new things. Like I just remembered my thing of like, like eye contact. A major thing.
Eye contact.
I had
my
to
enemy.
Trick myself into looking like I'm looking people in the eye when I can get myself to actually look at a person to talk, where I either am actually looking past them or looking between their eyes, because maintaining eye contact gives me pain.
If it depends on the person. If I'm not comfortable with them, then I won't. I feel bad because I'm constantly avoiding people's eye contact at work. Not just customers, but like my store managers, I won't make eye contact with him. or I just won't even like look at his face. I don't like looking like at people's faces. And so I'll avoid eye contact. Eye contact sucks, man.
They really do.
I remember in middle school, one of my teachers, a lot of my teachers were really Dutch, and one of them had like these icy blue, like unsettling, like eyes. Like he was a nice guy, but like his eyes are just so fucking unsettling to look at. That man, I would have like meetings, like we'd have like student teacher teacher parent meetings, and I had to like sit through one of those, and I was just like having to force myself to make eye contact, and I'm like, I can't. I hate eye contact.
They really are the worst. I think one of the reasons why I don't make eye contact is because the premise of, or the theory that the eye is like the window to your soul. That scared me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to look in your eyes. I don't want to look into your soul and just see who you are.
Yeah.
It's just so... That idea is selling in itself.
Yeah, and I'm sure as writers, like, we know that eyes, very much are used for descriptives of, like, emotions and stuff, where it's like they had very cold eyes and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, eyes very much give off, like... obviously that's exaggerated and that's not how exactly it works in real life, but there's still that semblance of like, yeah, you can kind of get vibes from eyes and facial expressions and everything, and I sometimes just don't want to see those expressions. I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I feel like you were looking at me angry.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the when people are angry with you, it hurts.
Yeah.
It just hurts.
Yeah.
It's
Not
nice.
always understanding the cues or like what's going on. Like sometimes if you're like, oh yeah, everything's good, everything is awesome, right? And then it's like you realize, oh, that person was mad at me the whole time. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was oh god, what was I going to say now that I think about it?
Been there.
Thought loss might be
Yeah.
forever.
Oh no, I remember. That was when I was trying to learn American Sign Language and having a good
Yeah.
time at it. It was so nice. Wow, this is not too bad to learn. Oh, now I'm at the context part where you have to look at faces and understand what's going on there. And to me, everything looks the same.
Really?
yeah.
Jeez.
So with American Sign Language, I took 4 years at the community college, and I took a few years in high school as well. Facial expressions specifically are incredibly important for actually grammatical stuff. So like raising eyebrows, lowering eyebrows changes how a question is asked. It can make it rhetorical. The shape of the mouth also changes how a certain sign is. Yeah, facial expression and how you use your face, very, very important for a sign language, at least American Sign Language. I don't know about other forms of sign language, but yeah.
Well, now I know.
Yeah, it's very, looking at faces and everything is very big in sign language.
Me looking at the video. What do you mean they were angry? It don't look like their eyebrows were like that. Oh, they were? Oh.
Yeah, and it's also usually like very exaggerated facial expressions too.
Yeah.
Very animated.
For me, like I have to. As a kid, it felt like I was. I was definitely more of like. Felt like I was stony, like a statue, and how I reacted to things. But because for me, I thought I was giving a normal reaction. To other people, I was essentially giving none. So I've had to learn to exaggerate, which sometimes does actually give a over-the-top attitude on what I'm trying to convey.
That's one of the reasons why I've switched over to using the PNG tuber in streams, is sometimes I feel like when I'm like responding to someone or whatever, I feel like my facial expression doesn't match it. It's too,
Oh my
it's
god, for
not
real.
expressive enough, and so I feel bad.
It's just a dead resting face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Or
like my face.
monotone.
Very
Exactly.
monotone, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. So that's partially why I stopped using like face cam during stream, because I'm like, because then I feel less like forced to have to like make forced facial expressions and whatever.
Yeah. And I still. There's no offense meant for the person who made this comment to me back in like a Mario Party. Where we were, it was like the first time going to the Western world for me. Came across the cows, like, oh, look, it's the fat cows. I was trying to show that I was thinking they were cute and I was having a fun time, but it sounded like I was making fun of them or something else because my voice was a lot flatter than I meant for it to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's different when you're masking. Like you're just like monotone in a way, but once you're unmasked and comfortable with yourself, you're more like you're free to like to express yourself in a certain way that
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
normally express in front of other people.
And one of the best feelings in the world for a neurodivergent person is to be around a group of people where you can take the mask off and be your actual self.
Yeah.
I say that as a person who's spent who's been putting that mask on for many years, 32 years old at this point. So I'm at a point where the boundary between the mask and me is too complex to understand who is what.
Where one starts and one ends.
Yeah.
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 That was one of the questions I was going to ask. When did you realize you were masking? If you're comfortable with answering that.
I couldn't. I always thought of myself as authentic because I hated the idea of having to switch to someone else's idea of normal for so long. But I never realized that I was still changing myself to try to fit in along the way. So high school emo edgelord me being like, I don't need to change for everyone else. They could just accept me or get lost. Was not realizing that he was also being like, okay, but I actually do want people to care about me. So I'm going to go ahead and change some stuff about me slowly but surely.
Oh.
Yeah. I was only asking because I feel like after excuse me, traffic coming through, but yeah, what was I saying? I feel like after so long after learning about autism, I think I kind of like narrowed down where the masking started, because I used to be very loud, very outspoken, and just free to speak my mind, and then until like 3rd grade was when you need to start like being more quiet and being less emotive and just sit still. I think that's where I kind of like narrowed down at that point.
I feel like at least I'll speak. Sorry if I'm interrupting you.
That's fine.
I just say I think as someone who's born female, that's also really accounts for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah, be
glad to be
quiet.
hearing. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No,
I was
you.
just gonna say I'm definitely glad to be hearing from people who aren't also straight white cis men on this, since people like me have been studied plenty enough with autism. It's good to hear from other areas, other people for their neurodivergencies as well, since need to hear more voices, more diverse voices.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was one of the thoughts I was having earlier when I got the little list out of what we're going to be talking about for tonight. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm like, that's probably the biggest thing that we, or in general, people should also look into or look forward to. That way, other voices can be heard and then share their experiences.
Also, you need to answer a question about what's like qualifies as masking. That'd be, well, like, we've talked about some of the stuff like trying to accentuate or dampen your emotions to try to fit into what like people who are more neurotypical would be experiencing, trying to fit yourself into like the idea you have about a neurotypical person. Stop doing your tics around them, stop doing anything that seems weird. Avoid talking about your favorite topics, about your special interests, because you don't want to scare them off going on a tangent, stuff like that. Yeah, go to church.
You don't want to be annoying. Yeah, I've
Like-
definitely, yeah.
Nobody liked the things I liked when I was a kid. So that was one of the things where I'm like, well, I'm at a loss
Yeah,
on how to connect with other people.
Yeah, I was a dino kid who was also very much into wildlife. My brother and I would study so many books on this stuff. We're so into everything on like National Geographic, History, Discovery, Science Channel, all of that stuff that had to do with any of those topics. Big like Jeff Corwin, Steve Irwin fans.
Oh, Steve Irwin.
Yeah. And we would have a lot of fun. We were able to get an outlet of conversation talking to each other about that stuff. But over time, talking to other people who very early on showed disinterest or would tell us to shut up about it, made it that way wanting to talk about what we like became more and more decreased.
Yeah.
So it's just now a thing of, I'm just going to sit here and listen to y'all, so that way I can't annoy you with what I want to say, but also I can't keep up with this conversation because you're all moving too fast for me, so when I want to say something, you're already on another topic, and I can't...
I feel that in my soul, Nate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Also, plenty of times of saying something and then get interrupted. So now it's just like, okay, I guess I'll just be quiet then.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I grew up very similar, where it's like, I'm really thankful, especially now, to have my older brother who will just sit and listen to me fucking yap. My older brother, especially, I'll just talk about what the fuck ever, and he will sit and he will be attentive and listen to it. I'm very thankful for that. But like even now, like I'm afraid of talking about some shit 'cause I'm like, I don't want to be fucking annoying. I generally keep a lot of my stuff to myself, and I'm trying to be better about that. I try to be as annoying on Blue Sky as physically possible, because I'm tired of fracturing myself into pieces to make myself more palatable, because it's bullshit and I shouldn't have to do it. No one should have to do it.
Yeah.
If you like me as a friend, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna be annoyed by me. I'm going to be annoying, and you're gonna have to deal with it.
Be annoying as you want around us, Stone.
And that's not like a excuse to purposely be a dick. I want to point that out. I want to be very like clear about
Absolutely.
that. Where it's like some people will use that as an excuse to be like a dick of like, I'm just gonna be myself and you're just gonna have to deal with it. No, I'm very much like, you know, if I am being a dick or if I'm being annoying or whatever, like I want people to give me feedback, and so I can help adjust my behavior so that I can work better with people. But also, I'm going to enjoy what I like, and I'm not gonna let anyone fucking scare me out of that anymore.
Oh no, very valid. It's good to make sure to try to get yourself like open up like that, and I'm definitely one of the people that's like, yeah, go ahead. I'll listen. I like hearing people talk about the things they like anyways.
Ooh, I do want to recommend a good book.
No, what is it?
It's called the Let Them theory.
Oh, I actually got that recently because I saw you talk about it.
It's good. I'm still in the middle of it, but I would recommend it. It is a theory of just learning how to let yourself not get stressed out by circumstances that are out of your control. And then also, and like specifically, there's a section that I'm currently in right now that talks about how people are gonna have negative opinions about you. Even your friends, they're gonna have negative opinions about you, but they're still choosing to hang out with you, and like they still love you despite having, some negative, I'd rather this be like this, but they're still my friend kind of thing. Adults are gonna have negative opinions about you, and it's just learning how to accept stuff like that. I would recommend it. Check it out.
Yeah, so that sounds like a good read. Oh, I hope I'm not interrupting someone else's train of thought what they're going to go on to here, but something else I just thought about was that I just interrupted my own train of thought there.
I'm gonna interject and then lose my thought.
Absolutely fucking iconic, Nate.
I know it
That's
has
what
something
we're
to
here
do
about.
with talking with
That's what we're here
friends.
about. That's
Oh,
what we're
no.
doing.
Oh.
Flame that just went out.
Can you find the trail back, Nate?
All right, something to do with
talking
talking
about-
with friends. It's
Is
gone.
it sending the first message or sending?
I don't even know at this point.
Oof.
Yeah. I had like two things I want to talk about, but they're just gone.
Oh, I do apologize if I ever interrupt or anything.
No, it wasn't just that you were interrupting. It's just like, oh, I forgot about this. That I could just talk
Yeah.
about this, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna wait my turn.
The
And then
very ADHD
gone.
thing. The very. I have a friend who is one of the only people I still interact with from high school. I actually have known her since 4th grade. She has really bad ADHD, and she used to have a big problem about interrupting people because she didn't want to lose her train of thought.
This might be somewhat related to what I was going on about. I can say about, but I remember when I was younger, this happened more often. It still happens to me sometimes. Is what looks like for everyone else getting lost in your own world, which sometimes that's true. Sometimes just looks that way, where like there's a conversation going on, and then it's just like.
He blue screen.
Yeah. It's just
Oh,
thing
feels
like
like
sometimes it's just like, okay, you're talking. I have a thought in my head. I'm gonna just go on that trail right now. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
no. Yeah, I get that.
It wasn't great. When I was at those times with the bad principal being put into their office to be told off about I'm about to go on detention and stuff. But my head is just thinking about wanting to read a book about velociraptors or something like that. So I'm just hearing, but I'm not listening.
Processing.
It's
You're not
not
processing.
processing there.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Same.
It's
Love.
really bad during D&D.
Yeah. I mean, audio
I lose the fucking
processing. Audio processing disorder is its own thing. That's something that exists both in ADHD and autism. That's
Yeah.
in one ear, out another. I don't mean for it to happen. I swear, I'm seeing you talk. I'm hearing the words. It's just not lodging itself in there.
And then
Yeah.
sometimes you're too concentrated on hearing them that you don't hear them.
Yeah. That's
Now
what's
I know
good.
what I was gonna say. It is concentration related, oddly enough. But it's
Go,
a thing
Nick,
of
go.
like,
Go, Nick.
it's a thing of like being focused on a task and like having to have that be your thing, which means that sometimes you can't have a conversation at the same time. Like there's been plenty of times I'm trying to cook something up in the kitchen, trying to get my meal prep done or something, and one of my roommates will come up to me, try to have a conversation. I'm just giving the most bare minimum replies, or not be able to fully listen because I'm too focused on the task I already have at hand. I need to prep myself for a conversation before I actually join in on it. If you come to me and interrupt my task for a conversation, I'm more worried about the task I was in, and I can't help that.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's like the same way with me trying to like, or for example, if you're like cooking, like you say, but if you're prepping, and someone's giving you all the steps to do the thing to cook for, and then it's like, all right, step one, you're only on step one, and then everyone, the person that's talking to you is listening out, like they're on step 5, 6, 7, 8, and then like they leave the room. It's like, what am I supposed to do again?
Write it down.
Write the fuck down, please.
Write it down.
Oh man, people trying to give me directions to a place, and I'm hearing the third direction, and I'm already out. I don't know what the fuck you're saying anymore. Oh no.
I'm the person giving the directions. I have
need-
a really good location-based memory, so I'm the person giving the directions.
I wouldn't thrive. I would be able to live without GPS. I got lost in an office space before.
Nate, what? How'd you do
I
that?
have no sense of direction. It
I'm the
is
opposite.
absent. It was
Oh.
taken out to make it so that way I can figure out the square root of 144 minus 5.
Don't
It's
give him
7.
another math part.
I was about to say, isn't that 7?
Yeah, no,
Is the square
I was
root
a,
of...
I was a mental
the-
math champion in middle school.
Oh god, could
I
not
also
be
spelling
me.
bee champion in middle school once for my city.
I got
know
5
that's more of an
detentions in
indictment
middle
of how
school.
bad the education was, though.
I got 5 detentions in middle school.
Oh, nice, nice.
Thank you.
So
'Cause I-
Minecraft would be fun.
Huh?
I can't
So
do
Minecraft
Minecraft.
would be fun.
I can't do
Oh.
Minecraft. Open-ended stuff like that, I can't do. I need tasks. I need things to do, steps to take, where I know what the next thing to do is.
That's how I am with Ref right now, playing with my sister, my cousin right now, since it is now like crossplay. I'm like, all right, what are we doing? Where are we going? And the both of them are already like 10 steps ahead of me. I'm just like, I'm just gonna do whatever then.
Yeah.
Just gonna collect resources and just, I don't know, play
I'm gonna hang out back here, do my own thing. If you guys okay, bye.
for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright,
So we really fell off the questions.
well, we're still technically on it. These are still like talking about the habits and any like ups and downs going on. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't
we're
think
still
of
on
any more.
2C.
Yeah. I felt like I had something to say and then I lost it. Anyways.
God, that is our whole
That's
fucking time.
That's the stream. That's the stream. It's we forget things immediately.
You're
So what
just
are we
looking
talking
at
about?
3 neurodivergents trying to have a conversation where there is a structure to this still.
There is a structure. We have a list of things to talk about.
Imagine how bad this would be if I didn't even write up this basic, like, 6 number, like, with bullet points inside structure here.
Welcome to
Be a
Off
nightmare.
Topic.
Oh, that's a different show.
Welcome to ADHD Autistic the podcast. Good luck keeping up with it, because we're not. What was I gonna
Welcome to
say?
the Untypicals.
What was I gonna say? I don't know.
Oh, all right. Okay, I guess some other things. Lights and sounds. I am very much light sensitive for one thing myself. Like even if it's a cloudy day, sometimes I feel like I should be wearing sunglasses instead because it just feels bright. I hate LED lights, but I have to be around
LED
them all
lights
the
are the
time.
worst.
LED lights hurt my eyes.
Yeah, they're too
The
bright.
worst.
We recently got hue lights in our bathroom. And me and my older brother share a bathroom, and he wants it to go really bright. He wants to turn on the light switch and it's really bright. And I'm like, the fuck? Why? It's so bright. I have to have my own setting that turns it down. So it's not killing my eyes. Ugh.
I know, I do have a thing with lights. It does seem brighter than what it should be, but I think sounds are like one of the biggest things with me. Because,
Oh, yeah.
like sometimes loud songs that I make are fine. Sometimes loud songs someone else's make is not great. They're just like nails on a chalkboard. I just can't stand it. Like I can listen to loud music as if like if I am in control of it, like I can control the volume however I want. But if someone else is playing music, it grinds my gears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's music you're in control versus music you're out of control of there.
Mhm.
That's literally my entire experience with work. So I think I tweeted about this, not tweeted, post, what the fuck ever. I put it online. At my work, at my station, there is a speaker above my station in the ceiling. You know how grocery stores have their music.
Mhm.
That speaker is the loudest in the store.
Oh dear.
It is by far the loudest speaker in the store, and I just want to beg management to let me in to look at the damn, like, is the balance off? Like, what the fuck? I don't know why that specific speaker is the loudest, but like they'll turn it up super loud, and I'm sitting there wanting to just fucking rip my hair out because it's just so loud and overwhelming. Fucking customers will try to talk to me through this glass with this music over me. I can't hear what they're saying at all. I have to be like, hold on, sorry, let me come around, and I'll have to leave the station to go around and talk to them. And anytime I ask management to turn it down, they're like, oh, but then the people in the deli or bakery can't hear it. And I'm like, good, I wish I was in the deli and the bakery so I didn't have to hear it, because this is obscene. This is ridiculous. Why do I have to want to fucking lose my mind every single day?
Yeah.
I'm very angry about it.
And the sounds thing, the second most annoying thing to me about LED lights is the noise.
Ooh.
I hate the hum. I hate the machinery hum so much. It grinds at me, especially if they go on the fritz. I remember like one time in college English class, one of the lights above was broken, so it's just having an almost strobe effect at the same time as having a
Oh yeah, the
line to it.
strobe effect is
I
the
was
worst.
wondering- and I was immediately like reacting in pain because of, well, it was giving me pain. The sensory was actually painful to me, but everyone else in the room seemed chill, so I went from being curled up, ears being covered with my hands, to looking around, and let's go normal. Pretend not to be in pain right now because you'll just stand out if you react to this now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I would lose my mind. That sounds
Yes.
like some
Yep.
overstimulation ass bullshit right there. Yeah, I personally just have very sensitive ears, and my older brother always is like very surprised by this, where I'm a musician, so I can hear like pitches and stuff very well. Like in my car, when I turn on the music, it's like pitched up for some reason, at least for like the first little bit. But then also I have to sleep with earplugs in because every little noise, like, my brain just hates for some reason. I also have a very rhythm-based brain. So
Same.
like if something's like repetitive, then my brain will follow that rhythm and it becomes very hard to like sleep. I start getting very upset, especially at night. Especially at night with noises, I start getting very upset. Like when my twin brother still lived with us and before we moved, I would be like,
In D&D?
no.
Oh.
It's my older brother. So when my twin brother lived with us, he would leave his TV on all night, and I would hear it from where I was sleeping. It would drive me up the wall, and I'd ask him to turn it down, and he'd just get mad at me, and it just fucking pissed me off. So I just started sleeping with earplugs in. Because otherwise I get worked up. I get very upset. I get a feeling in my chest, and I want it to stop.
And I don't know if it's also a thing with ADHD. I do know that it's another common thing for autism. Senses go up a bit more than other people, because I don't know if it's necessarily the reason why, but I do remember, like, I mean, even nowadays, my sense of smell is still pretty good, really good. Unfortunately, when I'm at the gym sometimes and I have to ignore the sweat that's all around. Luckily, plenty of people put on deodorants, so it's not as bad. But even then, like, sometimes even just small bits of someone's perfume or cologne just makes me want to gag because it's just too overpowering for me.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
like it's. Ugh.
Or smoke.
Yeah.
I can't stand
I
being
can't
around
stand smoke at all. If someone had a cigarette in like the last day, I can't stand being around them because of the smell on them.
I need to be like a yard away from anyone who's smoking.
Yeah.
Like most of my family smokes. I'm just like, no, please don't. Not really.
Yeah. Vapes are a little better, but still kind of overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like another kind of sensory related thing for autism is like the brain processes too much.
Mm-hmm.
So things can get a bit lagged. It's like a computer with a, God, would it be like a mega CPU in there? It's just handling so much stuff there. But it's working off of 1 gig of RAM. So it's going in and just cranking in a little bit extra because it's taking in too much information. It's taking in more than most people can handle. Like most people, like a neurotypical person's brain would be like, yeah, this is all useless stuff, so I'm gonna just not process it. Autism,
Just filter it
let's
out,
process more.
Yeah. That was me on Easter at work.
Mm.
I had to shut down. I dissociated half the day. There's too many shoppers. That's a problem with holidays. Is 1, too many shoppers, so there's a lot of people going around. 2, that music's above me. 3, my whole rhythm's interrupted because I have to focus on things that I don't usually focus on.
Oh yeah, when we had like programs at the library, and they're one of the days, I don't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but there were a lot of kids, and I needed like the cart I was pulling had all like children's materials on it that I need to put away, and we have a scavenger hunt so kids are just like running through the aisles. I'm just like, I need to work, but how can I do this without like interrupting their play? And just, oh my god, it was so overwhelming because there were a lot of kids. There's a lot of noise, and then the parents are doing their own thing as well as watching their kids. It was just overwhelming. I'm like, I need to finish this cart and just go take a break, decompress.
Yeah.
It was just so chaotic.
Yeah. I have a room at work that's where we store our containers, and it's just outside of, it's in the back, and so I'll just go there and it's quiet and I will sit there for a bit.
And another thing, by the way, shout out to executive function disorder, where it looks like procrastination to others, but for us it's, no, I do want to get this task. I keep telling myself I'm going to do it. I'm prepped to do it. 2 weeks pass by. Why hasn't it been done yet? Oh no.
Yeah.
For real.
I'm honestly surprised how well I've been doing in college of not dealing with that, because I think I dealt with that a lot in high school, but I think my anxiety has gotten a little better. And I'm getting better at handling it. So I've actually been very on top of my my college work.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, love to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've had to make sure to work on, especially with the professional side of things. as well as like currently learning to keep up with certain hobbies and tasks, like trying to get myself to read a book, making sure to have like an hour of time. All right, I'm forcing myself to do it. I'm turning off all distractions to make sure that this is all I'm focused on at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And like with work, it's like, okay, I know if I just say, oh yeah, I'll take care of this task in a second when I'm done with this other one, I'll forget about it. So I'll make sure to do the one that's on my mind first, with the other task at hand already. Be like, okay, no distraction there. Here we go, task you're getting done now too. So I don't forget about you either.
I do have like mental like notes on what I want to do for the day, whether it be writing or like doing reading or whatever I want to do for the day. And then for some reason, like we're gonna, like, I live with my family, so whatever family function is happening, they don't tell me until like the last minute. Like either like the day before or something like that, and it's just like, well, there goes my day. There goes my plans out the window.
My parents can't pull that shit with us.
So it's really hard to like discern what I need to do or what I want to do compared to what, you know, what their plans are. So it's just kind of always up in the air.
Oh boy. Yeah, on the sorry, were you gonna say something, Stone?
No, I was just agreeing with that.
Okay. I guess something else when it comes to plans and like is I've learned that I have something that's definitely annoying to others, where I seem like I'm going to have like a set routine. So, but unfortunately for others, by the time that someone notices that routine and gets adjusted to it, I'm already wanting to do something new. So I'll go ahead and switch things up at what happens to be the most unfortunate time for someone else. Like I've had times where it's like small examples of going to get myself coffee at a coffee shop on the way to one of my old jobs, and I'd order the same thing like every day for 3 weeks. To the point that the person's like, oh yeah, gonna be your usual, got that ready? And I'm like, oh, actually I want to try this other thing now. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I'm too afraid to switch it up. I'm very similar. Where at I go to there's a donut shop near my work that I go to for breakfast, and I always get the same thing, and I'm just afraid to change that because I would feel weird then. I'd feel like, because all I have to do is walk in, they're like, sandwich, and I'm like, yeah, and then start making a sandwich. I'm afraid to say no, but I'm also fine with it.
It's how I am with like when preparing like dinner for the family. I'm like, I would just want to make something that I know I can make and not just do anything that's new. But yeah.
Getting into cooking definitely helped me to expand on what I want to eat. I mean, my family growing up already liked to just cook various different cuisines, different stuff, which was different than what my parents' did, where it was all meat and potato or rice on the side, a veggie from a can, no salt or anything. My parents were like, yeah, no, we're actually giving you flavor when you eat your food.
We're giving you flavor.
And then when I learned how to cook, I learned different recipes myself, came to find a very nice like therapeutic side of things, just something relaxing about taking on the different steps along the way, which also going into like me getting into working out as well, treating everything as different small steps to take along the way as well really helped me keep focus and keep like up the habit as well, because it became almost like a game in my mind that I could focus on.
Yeah.
I mean, props to you. I get overwhelmed with doing all that stuff.
It depends on the day. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I can make food because it's not that big a thing. It's like, oh no, I have to do all this. Oh god, that's so much thing. Actually, I think I will order DoorDash.
Yeah, once you get overwhelmed with anything, it's like you shut down and
Yeah.
you're just like, I can't do this.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's either ordering the same food every time or cooking the same thing. Just like
I
can't switch it up.
I think
Yeah,
another
microwave dinners.
Yeah, I think another thing that forced me to be more okay with what I eat were different times in my life of where it's like, oh, one meal a day it is today.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's like that point's like, all right, someone's offering me free food. Okay, I don't care what it is. I'm eating it. I'm too hungry.
God, I wish that were me.
Yeah, my body was like, who cares if you don't like the texture of this? You're eating it. You need to get yourself. You dropped 20 pounds in 2 months, you jackass. But yeah, oh boy. I think there's been a lot of talk for habits enough. We've actually spent a lot of time on that, honestly.
We have.
It's a big thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a big thing to talk about here. One of the focuses here, but it's... Man, how about... Are there any times where you feel like your neurodivergence helps you in life? Because, like, as much as I've had issues with, like, executive dysfunction or other things with structure, it has still been a nice thing to have, like, a mindset for structure. Oh, because it helps me, like, figure out how to get my tasks on hand when I do them. I feel like I've been able to learn a lot of things pretty easily. Just whenever a special interest pops in my head, I will dive fucking deep into it. It's not a constant, steady new thing. I have my focuses. I haven't been a dino person for a while, but right now my thing is definitely going into like D&D as well as like NFL stuff. So I'm just very much dug in on those kinds of things now. And those have been my special interest for years. And hey, the D&D side of thing got me some good friends.
Yeah.
Both people in here and different streamed campaigns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on my first campaign ever.
I mean, I think D&D is really what got me and Nate kind of to be friends, because I was in the giant one that I can't remember the name of. the storm giant one.
Stormlord's Thunder.
Yeah, that one. I joined in the middle of that, and that was like my second campaign ever. And then I've done a bunch of things with Nate. Unfortunately, I had to make the wise decision of not joining Nate's current campaign. That would have caused a lot of issues. But
Yeah,
But,
you're busy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
it's
pretty
so
freaking busy.
unfortunate. Yeah, and my work schedule's so fucking inconsistent. It's killing me. But yeah, D&D is like really what got me and Nate like to be friends. 'Cause I don't think we really talked a lot before we started playing D&D together.
Yeah, not really. We had mutual acquaintances.
Yeah,
But that's it.
yeah.
I think
And then
my
I
first-
threw a Christian cat boy at you, and you had to deal with it.
Christian God.
That was my Christian cleric cat boy, whom I love and adore, my precious son.
No.
And I threw that at Nate, and he had to deal with it. Sorry, what were you saying?
I think the first time we did anything was the Mario Party tournament. Got me in a bunch of game sessions with by other people. I'm just like, okay, first collab. Let's see how it goes. Let's see where it takes me.
Always scary.
Hey,
It is fucking scary.
by the way, props to Farting Tart for seeing that, knowing how stressed I was getting, trying to get all of the scheduling going on with all these different people with their own complex schedules, and then be like, how about I get even more people involved for an Uno tournament?
Not just the
God.
winner's bracket, but also a loser's bracket.
Yeah. Shout out to Tart. That was a feat. That was
What a
a
champion.
brilliant feat of absolute wonder that they were all able to pull that off.
Oh boy.
Tart and Johnny, they both
Yeah,
they
both
both
of them,
were
honestly, yeah.
involved with the planning. Yeah.
But yeah, back onto aspects of your own neurodivergency that you feel like actually helps you in life.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I also, my mind is definitely geared for pattern recognition. Likes to look at mathematics and formula like that, which happen to fit into my current job quite well, because hey, formula, mathematics, that's still coding. This stuff is very much easy. Well, not easy. This stuff is very much something I can understand and get into. It's also not talking with people a lot, which is also nice for me.
Yeah, I very much also have a very pattern-oriented mind. Unfortunately, not so far on the mathematics part of it. That would have been incredible in high school. I think I mentioned this earlier. I have very good location-based memory. That's part of like my pattern recognition of like I'm able to recognize scenery. So once I've been somewhere, I'm usually able to retrace my steps back to that place. And also, like especially being in California, we have large mountains that frame kind of the backdrop of my area. And I'm able to use those as references to be able to like orient myself and like find my way around. My brothers, I'm very surprised because my brothers aren't very good with it. It's very much something I got from my dad. My dad has like the entirety of Southern California memorized. So like I could tell you like what freeway goes where, like how long it's gonna take you to get there, the general area of where places are, and that's very useful for if I need to go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's also like landmarks, like certain like fast food restaurants. It's like, oh, I know where that is. I've been to that McDonald's, or I've seen that McDonald's when I passed it. Like I'm able to drive to Disneyland without any directions. And I've been able to do that since I was little because we went to Disneyland so much that I was able to just pick up on it. And my brothers still can't do that. They're like, I've never driven to Disneyland. I was like, okay, well, I was able to give directions to my middle school band trip to Disneyland, even though I had never driven before. So what's your fucking excuse? The excuse is that I just have a ridiculously good pattern recognition with locations. It's also very helpful in video games.
They sure. Oh yeah.
I will also say, while I have no sense of direction, my younger brother probably knows all of the major roads through the United States, as well as all of the major and minor roads in his area, as well as knowing every best winning film throughout the history of the Oscars, knows probably like every major award winner through the major sports in America as well. He just has some very deep encyclopedic knowledge on his own special interests that are different than mine. And I'm just like, oh wow, didn't know these things. God damn.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah,
Good for him.
it's impressive.
I was gonna ask like how, but then like I am a writer.
Yeah.
Legit. I have done a lot of research over the years compared to like research from like school stuff, and then like all the way to college where I took a science fiction class where I was having to do one of my finals was like make a short story that's like half of the final, and then the other last half explaining how I got all this information from and explain what the story is about and all that stuff. So it's just like, so there's a bunch of science fiction stuff I just have stored in my mind, and then it's like there's other fantasy stuff that I absolutely loved since I started writing, since I was in 6th grade.
Oh, me too.
Oh, nice.
High five.
Yeah, and then it's just the knowledge just kept growing, and then somewhere down the line, my grades have tanked.
Oh. Yeah.
Like, I was just so focused on all these stories I want to write about, and that's all I could focus. Unless there's like, you know, projects that have urgency that adds to it. So then, like, oh, all right, I have to pause the story building, work on my school stuff, and then we're good. But no, it got worse after we moved for my junior, junior, senior year. That's when everything just really tanked. But not everything, but like half of my grades. We're not the greatest, but yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
But and during the set of taking notes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was not there at all for any of the school lessons. I was just writing my story until it got taken away. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm
100% writing notes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was definitely just doodling, just writing down whatever I wanted instead. I was writing like short stories and short plays as a kid instead of fully paying attention.
Yeah,
The teacher didn't care if I was getting B's and A's.
Well, Nate, some of us were failing chemistry.
I actually did well in chemistry, so.
Oh, I was locked in on science. I love that stuff.
Oh,
I too.
I have the greatest teachers for science. They're always like this.
Oh yeah,
eccentric
science
person.
teachers for me were always like the cool ones.
Yeah, for some reason.
Our physics teacher was bad, and I immediately dropped the class.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I like, for physics, I understand like the process and the mathematics of it, but learning from a teacher, but then you go to do the math yourself, that I don't know what happened. Like, I understand what's happening, but on your own,
When we were told to write down our explanation, like the steps along the way for like math and science, I was frustrated at having to do that because I thought being able to do it in my head should be enough. Years later down the line, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm happy to see the steps because I otherwise wouldn't know how the fuck someone came to this conclusion either.
For real,
Yeah. You're like, how did you do that? What is this? What the fuck?
Yeah, but I also just remembered I never actually touched on the family side of things with me and also, so I'm just gonna go briefly here. I can expand upon this in any of the other talks. My brother, I've already said, definitely has something. My dad, probably on the spectrum himself because definitely has a special interest, with a very unique one, where it is in the Union cavalry antiques from the Civil War period.
That's
he likes
very
collecting
specific.
different stuff. Yeah, he likes collecting like old muskets, sabers, and the like from them. And he's also just really into like gardening, and has a great knowledge on like what kind of flowers to plant, when and where, and what arrangements would be the best to do.
My dad likes Star Wars.
Yeah, it's just definitely a thing in my family that shows either as autism or ADHD in folks. But yeah, that's the most I'm going to be going over here to keep ourselves back on, try to get back on topic here. Are there any programs that you've all felt like have helped or hindered you? Like I've mentioned before, growing up in a school that when some programs got introduced, well, the gifted class and stuff to help me out in elementary school, as well as in high school, there was a program for kids with like different developmental disabilities to get them out of like the what was the recess? What was it called? Study sessions, whatever. To be like get them out of that so they can have their own private room just with another small group of kids and one counselor. It was a nice thing because I could actually focus on what I wanted to do, and it was just a very chill time, just a lot of checkups and making sure everything was going well. It really helped me along the way.
I don't know if it was even a program to begin with, but I know I had like a second teacher that I would leave my classroom to go another classroom to do like whatever we do there, and then at a certain time I'll come back to the classroom. I don't know what that was. I wasn't aware of it. But I know that my parents, my teacher for this second room, they contact my parents or my mother at the time when she was not like homeschooling, but when she was stuck at home, and well, my dad was away at work, so they know what was happening, but I had no idea what was happening. So I was just like, I thought it was just a normal schedule for me. It's like I just come to this one main homeroom and then leave to go to another classroom and then come right back. That's all I know. And then another like program that really helped me at school was just speech therapy. I had a real problem with my speech and how I say specific like letters and words. So that helped tremendously.
Oh, I still slur my speech. I'm terrible at it. I'm a lot better than I used to be. But see, I still mess up, and it's very obvious when it comes to any TH sounds. But yeah, glad you got those programs, whether you knew about them or not at the time.
I still don't know anything about it. I just know that it happened. And that only happened throughout elementary school. Well, except for like first grade. First grade we don't talk about. It was not a good experience.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
oh,
That's yeah.
How about you,
Oh.
Stone?
does therapy count?
We can count therapy.
Yeah, because I mean, I was never in any like programs at school. I mean, we had like a special education program, but I was never diagnosed, or no one ever was like, hey, maybe they got some things that we should check out. But I was starting in, I think it was 7th grade. Every week I'd be called to the counselor's office, and it was basically just therapy. And I didn't really think about it. And that was like 7th and 8th grade. I was basically in therapy with the school counselor. Like, damn, okay, that early we really started. And then in high school, from like the last bit of 10th grade to the like middle of my senior year, I was in therapy with a wonderful therapist. She was really great. She helped me a lot with high school and getting through that with like the depression and anxiety stuff. And then unfortunately I had stopped seeing her. She switched practices. She started working somewhere else, but she was pretty cool. I tried another therapist at one point a few years ago, and man, that didn't go well. Always, here's a tip for therapy for anyone who decides to do it. Therapy is really helpful. However, you need to make sure you have a good therapist. That's important. And that was actually something my therapist in high school really was like, if you don't like me, then then please tell me so we can figure out someone different. Like, she was very much like, please tell me if you're not comfortable, like, so we can try to change things. The therapist I had after high school for a little bit was not great. And it was also one of those therapists where I was like, well, the next time I can see you is 2 months from now.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay.
Not a regular enough checkout.
Yeah, so I stopped seeing her because she was not great. And then currently I'm in therapy, which is a very interesting kind of therapy. It's not talk therapy. I don't know exactly how to describe it. But it's called EMDR. Look it up. I'm not going to try to explain it because I don't fully understand exactly how it works. But it is helpful. It's very interesting. I would recommend doing research on it if you're interested in it. But that's really the only programs I could say. The only quote unquote program that I've been in my life. I never had any sort of anything from school. I'm really surprised that the special ed teacher didn't pick up on something because I interacted with her quite often in 8th grade. I'm surprised she wasn't like, maybe. But she was cool. She wasn't like, I feel like I hear things about special ed teachers that they kind of suck, but she was actually pretty cool. So yeah, that's my experience.
Sure. Yeah, but yeah, like you're right. Like, therapy is a great spot, especially a therapist you vibe with. When I was growing up, I was in and out of different adolescent therapists as well, which they helped me plenty as well. It was nice because there would always be a thing on hand where there was something to play with if I didn't have the full focus. One had was it a Sega Genesis or something I would play Rayman on, and just be playing that and answering any questions sent to me, just talking the whole time, because it was like, oh, this is nice and fun. Yeah, okay. Oh, you want to talk to? Yeah, I'm good with that. Another one.
Good way for adolescent one, yeah.
Yeah, another one. Bunch of Play-Doh to sculpt things with while going through the therapy session. It was just a lot of nice and fun therapists who helped me kind of understand autism myself, as well as help me through any issues I was having at the time. I will also agree that a therapist you vibe with is a great thing to see if you are able to.
Yeah, if you are thinking about therapy, I would recommend looking into it, but make sure that the therapist doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're not saying weird shit, especially in more conservative areas where they will sometimes blame shit on being queer. That's fucked up. Make sure they align with your beliefs and ideology, because if not, it can do a lot of harm to you.
Someone you're more comfortable talking about that stuff to.
Yeah, someone who's not going to be like, oh, you're depressed? Well, that's because you're gay. It's like, that's not true. That's not how that works, actually. Or, yeah, that shit is just it's bad. Find someone who isn't an asshole, because there are also a lot of outdated psychology beliefs that are out there that some people will subscribe to and some people will swear by, and they are incorrect.
Yeah, this actually makes another segue into another topic here, is talking about the misunderstandings about, well, not just autism, but neurodivergencies in general. One thing that's been thrown out is the idea that everyone is autistic now, or that there's an epidemic of so many people just now being autistic, when in reality what's going on is there's better awareness, better research, better advocacy going on, all of these things mixed together, making it so that way it's easier to identify these different neurodivergencies in a younger ages. Like with autism, there was an issue that because the first studies were only done with straight white boys, that's what it was seen as being a majority of. And now it's understood like, oh, it's spread across everyone evenly, and there's not really nothing that really connects anyone together. It's just something that exists.
Yeah.
Everyone's got an equal opportunity to get it.
Yeah.
To have it at birth or whenever it forms.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, because of that, a lot of people, especially black males, get some real fucked up shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Misunderstandings. Yeah, I'm always afraid to tell people about the tism. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna think that they're gonna like think that I'm stupid or something, or other words I don't want to use that I hear my coworkers throw around. People, and you know, some people who are currently in the media and are currently the top sitting health professional in the United States ain't fucking helping that. They ain't fucking helping it. We pay taxes.
Pay for that person's salary just for all that bullshit that's been spoken.
Yeah, the misunderstandings is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And then, well, because it's also like, you know, we have jobs, we pay taxes, but then some people can't, and they're not less for that.
Yeah.
They're still people. And it's also just, it's so annoying to see it framed as this like tragedy, and especially because then it's also seen as something to be fixed, which is not. It's something to be understood and worked with, but it's not something to be fucking fixed. Fuck you. Was it Autism Speaks with the fucking puzzle piece?
Yeah.
Fuck that bullshit. Fuck you.
Oh, I was never comfortable with that as a kid. I always felt it was insulting. It was like, I don't want to feel like I'm the missing piece here. I just want to be a person. Why can't you guys
I have a complete puzzle. What do you mean?
It's insane. It's stupid.
Yeah, I never understood that whole puzzle symbolism part of it. Even as a writer, I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Bad symbolism.
It was
it's really bad.
An idea made by people who call themselves Autism Speaks, but don't let autistic people speak.
The fucking irony of it, man.
Oh boy.
Some horseshit.
Yeah. Even if someone don't use the word autism to describe what a person has, I don't like them just using like other words like, oh, this person has like a learning disability, or they are or they have a lesser like mind or some shit like that. Because it happened we were in a courtroom, and there was an incident with my nephew, and the lawyer lady said she whispered to the judge that my nephew has like some sort of learning disability. I don't know what exactly she said, but she whispered that, but we heard it. We were in the back of the room. We heard that shit. My sister, the mother of my nephew, I believe she was able to talk to the lawyer to like explain, not explain, but what's the word? Like convey that was some bullshit, that what she said, because autism should not be like a bad word or a bad thing that just so happens my nephew has it, you know?
It shouldn't be something that's like skirted around.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be treated as it's like it's a bad word, or
it's not like you're walking on eggshells.
it's like
just Just say that my nephew has autism. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all
It's
you
like-
have to say.
It's like saying differently abled. It's like just say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, boy.
my dad's talked to me about this. There's this kind of thing going around where it's like, I think it's called no, actually we're going back to the anger expression. I'm angry. There's this, I guess, idea going around called person first language, where it's like instead of saying like an autistic person, you say a person with autism, which to an extent I understand, but also it feels very annoying to be very like corrective about that. It's like, no.
I've been on both sides of things before, and now I'm at like whatever is comfortable with that person, what they want to have as their things said about them. I'll just use that.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what someone else wants, then that's fine. But like to make it like almost a bad thing to just say someone's autistic, it feels really weird.
Yeah. Oh boy. This is kind of related to this too. I'm personally annoyed at the people who think autism is just quirky. So whenever they're like talking about themselves as being a quirky person, they're like, oh yeah, I'm just a little bit autistic. Or like if they're like have a kind of interest in something, they're like, oh yeah, this is just my tism thing. It's like, you're not understanding what that actually is. This is like people who say that they have OCD just because they slightly adjust one thing sometimes. No, you don't know what that really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, my coworker says that she's like, oh, I just have to like have everything. I'm so OCD, and I'm just like sitting there like, that's not. You don't understand what you're saying. You do not understand what you're talking about.
And it's just like ADHD isn't simply not paying attention.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, and I'm like, you don't get it. I'm going to shove my foot up your ass.
Yeah, there's a lot of language from both sides of my family, my mom and dad's side, that they're language that I actively have to learn not to say anymore because of like the OCD kind of thing. Like that's not how that is. Even if I did my own like little research into it, I'm still no professional, so therefore I shouldn't be saying those things. Yet the language still is being said because of older generations. Because I know that it's like a thing where we have to be actively talking about that to them. Don't say shit like that. But also, there's a part where they may never change. So it's kind of like, what do you really do?
Yeah, they'll drag their heels. It's just, I mean, it's the same with like gender and shit. They'll fucking drag their heels.
No.
Yeah, that's
They're like, but that's not how I was brought up. Things change, motherfucker.
Yeah, you can learn. You can adapt to the times.
Things fucking change.
There's a couple other things I'm just thinking about with the word for going on. The use of the word autistic. Also, not great that there's a lot of people who have decided to switch out using the R word, which is saying autistic as the same thing. I hate that.
No.
I hate that. I also I don't know if Steve Spahn has still, since it was from a Twitter post years ago, but talking about another R word, which is if you take that R word you already know of and just take the first syllable and extend that.
Oh,
That
yeah,
is
that was...
meant.
Oh yeah, I learned that a little too late.
Yeah, that is not a fun
Not that I used that,
anger
but-
noise. That was made to make fun of autistic people going through severe stress during an anxiety attack brought about by sensory overload.
Yeah.
So yeah, please refrain from using that. I have it banned in my chat for a reason.
Yeah.
I still need to do that.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, I think it was in the gaming community for quite a bit, and then I've seen it every so often, but usually when people are told, because people don't understand where it came from, when people are told like, hey, that's about this, they're like, oh shit, I am so sorry, and then they will not use it anymore. But People are
It's-
usually fairly good about that.
It's nice when people are actually listen and learn from it. God, does it suck when people drag their feet on it or try to excuse it in some fashion. It's like, no, please, please just don't.
Nope.
It's just one word. Just don't use it. Find something else.
Yeah,
Be
it's very easy
yeah.
to do anything else.
Yeah,
It's
be
free.
mindful.
Yeah.
Change your ways.
Any other misunderstandings about neurodivergencies to go over? Hey, by the way, I did pay my taxes. I have written poetry. It's edgelord stuff.
Oh my god,
that I'm
I've
not
written
wanting to
poetry in
share
middle
with anyone,
school.
but it exists.
I just watched that speech today, and it was just so fucking wild to listen to. Like, they'll
There was a
never write
speech?
poetry. Yeah, this is from what the fuck, RFK Jr.'s speech the other day,
Yeah.
Oh no.
where he's like autistic people will never know what it's like to play baseball or write poetry.
Bro, I
or
play
pay
tennis.
taxes or have a job, and I was like, what the fuck have I been doing for 3 years? What?
Like 7 years for me.
That was an option? That w- it is
Can't rape.
it's just insane hearing this from the like top health the named top health professional of the country that we live in.
That's not his profession. Like,
No,
A
he's the
degree.
worm in his brain.
yeah.
He put a bear carcass out in the middle of Central Park. This is the same man.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he did. That was the thing he did. He left he hit a bear or something, put it on his car, drove it to downtown New York, left it in the fucking middle of Central Park.
Fucking demented. What the fuck?
Dude, it's wild.
Jesus.
Anyways,
Yeah.
on to any other topic before I get
Yeah, let's
big mad.
All right. Oh boy. But by the way, another thing is, I know this isn't the case anymore. This is more of a '90s thing. Hey, we don't. If you drop matchboxes near us, we're not gonna know how many there are automatically. Sorry. So we can't count cards for you all the time either.
Rain Man. Shout out to Rain Man. Yeah.
Yeah, not a. You know, at least it's not the worst film out there depicting a person with who's on the spectrum.
Bro, at least it's not The Big Bang Theory. Yeah.
I never understood that show. I know that it's like one or two episodes that were shown in class, but I never. There was no vibe with it. I couldn't
My
do it.
parents watch it almost every night. I'm not even joking. They
Oh my
watch
God.
reruns, and
I know people check The Big Bang Theory out almost relentlessly for I don't know what reasons. I think they just have it on in the background for some reason. I
Well,
don't
at the
know.
ER
I
I
don't
went to.
understand it.
It was on at the ER that I went to, and I was like, God damn it, I've seen enough of this. I don't need to see this anymore.
I still don't know anything about it.
Good.
Yeah,
That way.
I'm gonna keep it that way.
it's yeah, the what's his name, Sheldon, not exactly
Yeah,
the
young
best
Sheldon.
depiction of an autistic person out there.
They like made him. Yeah,
He's just an asshole.
No, he's a dick, and it sucks. Cause I mean, it sucks because it's like even the people in the show that are supposed to be his friends are actively assholes to him, but he's also an asshole, and it just sucks to watch because it's like it's just annoying because he again he's just such an asshole, and it's like no one behaves like this. No one's like this.
As opposed to a recent accidental autistic hero of Lyles from Delicious in Dungeon. That is a good representation, even if he's probably not meant to be that way.
Well, shit, I'm gonna have to watch
As a
that show
very
then.
specific special interest, openly talks about how he can't pick up social cues, still maintains good relationships with the people close to him at the same time.
I love him so
Good
much.
for him.
Love Laios. Please watch Dungeon Meshi or Delicious in Dungeons on Netflix. It is a really good show. Really incredible world building.
It's on the list.
Yeah, put it there. It's good.
On my backlog.
Incredible world building.
Oh my god, there's so
Very
much
good.
to watch.
Oh, I know. The backlog only ever gets larger.
Yeah. So much show to watch, so much games to play, and here I am suffering with a persuasive essay.
Oh, good rhyme there.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Don't you hate when you accidentally write poetry?
I'm very bad at poetry. I'm not a poetry writer.
Oh my god. After a session in one of my like literature classes where we had to like focus on poetry, after that it just I don't like poetry, but sometimes they're just accidentally say something that's just very poetic or just write down like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
How dare it?
I remember one of the assignments back in a high school English class was to write like some Shakespearean poetry. I didn't understand the assignment, so I just wrote something really quickly last second, turned it in. I got an A, but the teacher being like, wow, this is actually amazing use of iambic pentameter over here. Like everything is fully on rhythm, the consonants are just how they're supposed to be, and I'm just nodding along like, what the fuck? How did I do this?
My god.
That's hilarious.
The lightning in the bottle.
That's so fucking funny. Go off, Nate.
It happens very rarely, but when it works, it works.
Yeah, Stone, you brought up having like a musical mind yourself.
Yeah.
For some reason, that is how things are for me. A lot of things are based off of some kind of rhythm out there. Like for a long time growing up, I couldn't see faces for people, or at least every face seemed too similar for me to differentiate. So what I learned was how to pick up a person's rhythm, differentiate them by how they talk, because everyone would have their own way of speaking, as well as like the manner in which they move, because everyone, I realized, was moving at their own rhythm, moving at their own pace. So it definitely helped that I was already spending a lot of time involved with music, from being in band from 5th to 8th grade, as well as choir from elementary school all the way through high school. So I had a sense of music instilled in me that helped me figure this stuff out, until eventually it came a lot easier for me to see faces. Granted, I still can't remember anyone's. I'm still terrible at putting names to faces.
That's valid. I have that issue when I'm not wearing my glasses. We both played saxophone, right?
Oh yeah, I played alto saxophone.
High five!
Yeah, I also know bass guitar.
Oh.
I hope to learn mandolin sometime.
You have to learn the mandolin?
I want to learn it.
Oh, go off. Yeah, I have a rhythm-based brain as well. It brings me hell. Have you ever had it where you're like, especially like in chats, if chats are either going too fast or people are using caps a lot, then your brain's like, hey, what the fuck? Like, it's like almost too fast of a rhythm.
Well, the too fast thing I had to adjust to because of having to be a moderator in a sometimes fast-moving chat.
That's valid.
So I have to just kind of learn how to just quickly scan through some things.
That's valid.
Look for the key things to look out for.
Yeah.
But all caps stuff, no. My brain goes blank.
Yeah.
It's like you're shouting at me.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like I've been in chats before where people are getting like really excited, and so they'll be using all caps in chat, and then I'm just like, it stresses me out so much because it's like they're yelling at me, and then also like my brain just gets overwhelmed and like things just feel too fast. Like the rhythm is just suddenly too fast, and I'm like, this sucks, and I hate it, and I have to step away because otherwise I'm gonna have an anxiety attack. It's too worked up.
All right, I'm not sure if there's really too many other myths or anything about autism or other neurodivergencies we want to go over. I feel like we've hit some of the big ones. Are there any other ones y'all want to talk about before we get into some of the more closing things? Okay.
I can't think of anything because it's still relatively new to me.
No, it's all fine. It's all fine.
Nothing I can really think of.
Hey, I guess before this, hey, quick thing that has definitely helped me understand some things about some friends of mine who have, I will say I've accidentally been a person getting other people to feel like they need to get diagnosis when they've related to me too much. But
Nate sent me shit.
Yeah.
Nate sent me shit. He sent me shit before, and I'm just like, hey, I'm in this and I don't like it.
Oh my god, I had
Like, you motherfucker.
Who was it? I don't remember who it was, but someone sent me like a library like meme. I'm like, yep.
There was something you sent me. I found it. It's back in March. It was just an ADHD meme that says silence, current project, a new side project is talking. Motherfucker, don't call me out.
Oh boy. But yeah, there was something I remember seeing a while ago that's like one of the reason why that you'll see a lot of people who are autistic also be identifying as like in non-binary or in a like non-binary kind of like gender is that autistic people already don't put themselves into the normal social construct everyone else has, and it'll be like, okay, that doesn't look right. I want to make my own thing instead. This feels more comfortable.
That's me. No, this gender doesn't make fucking sense to me. Why the fuck does it? I mean, okay, hold on. Let me start this with a disclaimer before people get pissed off at me. Of like, people who are in their gender and are comfortable. If you're trans, if you're cis, you're so valid. I love you. I love that for you. I hope you're happy. I want you to be happy. To me, gender doesn't make any fucking sense. Because it's like I don't feel shit. I don't know. I'm just a rock.
Literally my brother.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, I mean, like, cool, awesome, incredible. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, it's just also a thing that goes through other like social constructs for autism is, oh, y'all have this thing going on? How about I do my own thing instead?
There are so many, that's like one of the biggest things I think I struggle with like these social like rules and shit that's like, you have to fucking learn these invisible rules that do not actually matter for any reason. Like sometimes there are rules that make sense, you know? Like sometimes there are things that track, you know, you don't want to, you know, get in people's personal spaces and all that, like, you know, to get with the comfortable part of it. But there's also just these like insane, ridiculous things that it's like you're expected to pick up on. Hello?
Yeah.
In this economy?
What do you mean?
My coworker's size is in a certain way, and I have to take that as I have to ask her what's wrong? What?
There's actually like, I was kind of like doing some prep for one of the things I'm doing for the big extravaganza on Saturday. There was a poem by an autistic person about autism that I found and was going to play then. I can go ahead and link into the description here as well and send it to y'all as well. But yeah, it very much goes into like talking about the social rules, calling it an invisible ink that they can't find on the page.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's all this shit that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, oh, it upsets me because like my coworkers will do something and it feels like I do not feel any. The place that I feel the most like autistic, like it's so obvious to me, is when I'm at work, because everyone around there is just like, it feels like I'm in a different fucking culture. It feels like I'm in a different world. Because I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, oh, it grinds my gears. It gets my goat. It makes me upset. That I'm expected to pick up on this stuff, even though it's not real. It's not fucking real. If you're upset about something, communicate that to me. Don't sit there and sigh and beat yourself into oblivion. You're over dramatic.
Stone, keep at it.
Thank
You're doing
you.
good.
Thank you. I'm mad. I hate this social stuff. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, can someone explain to me why it's rude to ask a woman her age?
Because some people are offended by it, but it's probably just a case by case thing, like most things are.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
There's a lot of things I still don't understand, but go with because it'll be hassle to go otherwise.
Yeah.
Other things like, I don't care how much the social rules are made. This still seems too much bullshit for me.
Literally.
It's too much to worry about. Like, we have better things to worry about. Why are you focused on this one little social thing that only matters you?
Yeah.
Like, literally.
It's so fucking annoying. It's like, why are you asking me these questions? You don't care.
It's like trying to write almost like there are certain rules, and like when you learn like in school and stuff, like, you know, there's like some stuff you have to do to write, but once you're like writing your own fan fiction, you're writing your own original stories, none of that really matters. Not really.
Everything is made up and the points do not matter.
Exactly.
Shout out to whose line is it anyway? Because, man, it's all just made up. And like some of it makes sense, some of it has reason, but like a lot of it doesn't.
Well, with that, now we get into both of you. What would you want to say to other neurodivergent people? Like, what is like a short, not necessarily a short thing. What is something you want to say to them? Whether it's helpful advice, whether it's cheering them on, whatever you want to say.
Do you want to go first or shall I?
You can go first.
Okay. You're not fucking broken. That is so important. I almost kind of wish I was on camera right now because I'm doing hand motions. It is so fucking important to understand that you are not like broken. You are a whole person and you are good. You yourself are good. Just live your life. People are not gonna like you, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. That's an unfortunate part of life.
We're like, those people need to deal with you. Be yourself.
If people care too much, then fuck them. Not literally, but fuck them. Unless you're into that. I don't care. That's not the topic. No, but if people care that much, then they don't fucking matter. It's the people who accept you for you, who do matter, you know? Find the people who accept you, find the people who are into what you are into, and don't give a shit about what these other motherfuckers say. That is so hard to do. I'm saying this, it sounds easy. I struggle with it every damn day of my life. I have horrible social anxiety. It's very hard to do. But we gotta do it. We gotta stick around, and we're here, and we're fucking great. We're awesome. We're not broken. Fuck everyone else.
All right, thank you very much. All right.
I really don't have anything to like advise people. I don't really have much to. I don't feel like I have much to say on the matter because I'm still learning. But overall, I would like for people who are going through the struggle, trying to identify this themselves. I just want you all to be comfortable just being you. All your tics, your stems, just you as a whole personality. It doesn't matter what anyone should think of you. What should matter is that you're comfortable with you, and that's all that matters. And for us that we've learned to mask, I really want you to try to not mask as much or mask at all, and stay on mask as best as you can. Because masking fucking sucks. It is overwhelming. It drains you every single time you do it. It leaves you no motivation, no energy to do anything else that you enjoy, your hobbies, interacting with the friends that you applied to most. I think the goal in the end is just be comfortable being you. Don't change who you are. Stay true to yourself.
Thank you as well. And how about things you would like to say to your younger self about neurodivergence?
Pretty much everything I would like. I know now. That way they could probably get a much better head start on further diagnosing themselves, and as well as, asking for a proper diagnosis by a doctor or so, and actually getting the help that they actually needed when growing up in the school system that they went through. I think all of that would have really helped in the long run.
Thank you again.
To my younger self, you're not fucking broken. That's the. I mean, it's basically a repeat of what I just said. You're not fucking broken. Fuck everyone else. People are gonna suck, and you can deal with it. You can deal with it. It sucks, but just, you can deal with it, and it's not gonna kill you, and you just gotta keep on fucking trucking. Put yourself out there. There are people who will love you, and look, the theme of the night, you're not broken. Because that's what I've always told myself for fucking years. So get that out of your fucking head, because it ain't true. That's the short of it. I'm also repeating words from my therapist. My therapist is smart.
Wise words being spoken here.
Yeah. Wise words.
But yeah, thank you both. And thank you both for your time here. Wow, we actually managed to get close to 3 hours on all of this.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, thank you all so much for giving some of your own insights, some of your own talks for different kinds of neurodivergency, both diagnosed, undiagnosed, still learning, having known for some time all these different levels. It's great to get these insights, and I feel smarter for having this conversation with y'all, and I hope anyone watching this has learned something along the way.
I absolutely appreciate all this. I've always wanted to know what other people's experience were growing up, and now I'm like, we're almost on the same wavelength. I'm so happy I'm not really alone in all these things that I've done or had essentially gone through.
I definitely am at a point where I want to be a mentor on these things, help guide other people who are still trying to understand. Because it's definitely nice to have someone out there who at least has an idea, someone that can have something helpful to say or something helpful to do. And
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be something like that, even with small things like this.
Yeah. I mean, all from as much as I like, for the time I've been going through all like this shit, trying to figure it out, it's definitely been comforting being like Nate's there if I need someone to fucking relate to. It's been comforting having you there.
Thank you. I'm glad to know I'm being helpful to someone.
Look, Nate, you're like a brother to me.
Oh,
So.
Oh,
oh, that's gonna make me feel happier for a while.
Look, you're great. You're fucking great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're great too. You're like a younger sibling too. Definitely a little
like to
sibling
bully.
with a 1 foot difference between us.
Yeah. Fuck you. I knew it was coming. I fucking knew it was coming, you motherfucker.
so is the height
Steal-
difference in the
Let's steal-
ceiling.
He's so tall.
I'm
He's
only
so
6'1".
tall. He's so tall.
That's
I
still
have
part of me.
seen this man in person before. He is a foot taller than me. That's not an exaggeration. He's tall.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's like having a looming shadow behind me. I also feel comfortable with Nate in person. I feel safe with Nate.
Oh, thank you as well for that.
Just a looming shadow behind me. Going and getting grilled cheese in the middle of downtown San Diego while it's fucking ridiculous outside. Same with Brian. It was fun.
Yeah. Before we continue getting more off topic on things, it is time to wrap things up here. Again, I'm glad to have had this conversation with y'all. Thank you all so much for stopping on by for this.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
having
putting
us.
this together.
All right. The poem I talked about, I will make sure to link into the description of this on YouTube. But I have 2 more of these talks coming up throughout the week as well. There's going to be one Saturday morning. Let me double check the time real quick. Gonna be... Okay. Well, I say morning. It's morning for me, but it'll be like noon Eastern time. Gonna be talking with another friend, Maple Pixels. And then that same day, later on at 8 p.m. Eastern, will be another Neurodivergent talk with Gage the Gnome and Yep Queen Gwen as well. All those will be recorded as well and put onto the YouTubes for people to catch up on as well. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. As has been said before, none of you are broken. You're all amazing. You're all valid. I'm proud of you all, and I'm proud of you all for existing in turn. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Hope you all have a fantastic week ahead of you. Goodbye. Proud of you. Love you all.
Take care of yourselves.
Bye now.
Take care.